The report.
The title of the report released by the New York Times highlights the Saudi dislike for the popular uprisings in the Middle East and North Africa. The report says Riyadh is flexing its financial and diplomatic muscle to contain the tide of change in the region and protect unpopular regimes from popular dissent. As for Egypt, it is as yet unclear whether the Saudis have lost their strongest regional ally there. Saudi Arabia has dispensed $4 billion to shore up Egypt's ruling military council to prevent any more changes from taking place. With regard to Yemen, Jordan and Morocco, Riyadh is struggling to buttress the ruling regimes. In Yemen, where President Ali Abdullah Saleh is under enormous pressure to step down, the Saudis are doing all they can to keep the power structure as intact as possible.
I say that the regime in Saudi Arabia has been trying to convince the West to ease its pressure on the Yemeni regime, and this is because Saudi Arabia knows that the winds of change will reach it if the revolution in Yemen succeeds.
Such meddling in these nations' affairs has been through diplomatic means. However, the Saudis have not just used diplomacy and dollars to advance their interests in all countries. In Bahrain, they have visibly resorted to force. Riyadh has deployed a considerable military contingent in the small Persian Gulf Sheikhdom to crush the popular uprising that has almost toppled the Al Khalifa ruling family. Saudi Arabia has been facing popular protests both in Bahrain and at home, with the demonstrators calling on Riyadh to leave the Sheikhdom. Only time can tell if the Saudis can hold back the tide in the region and whether the US-backed Arab kingdom's attempts to prop up its unpopular allies will work.
The United States is leading joint military drills with the members of the Persian Gulf Cooperation Council. The maneuvers, dubbed Eagle Resolve 2011, are being held on the territories of the United Arab Emirates, as well as a number of training areas of Qatar, Bahrain and Kuwait. The U.S. Central Command is leading the 2-week-long war games. Saudi Arabia, Oman, Jordan, Egypt, Iraq, Yemen, France, as well as South Korea are participating as observers. The maneuvers that began on Tuesday are set to be aimed at preparing UAE, Qatar, Bahrain and Kuwait to encounter any possible threat.